Hope you enjoyed your dinner tonight. We're going to introduce our class of 2018 tonight, and it's going to be led by Aaron Black, who is, as you know, the principal of Union City High School. Aaron's also a member of our board of directors. So, Aaron Black. Aaron?
Okay, we don't tell them to see this, we sign all the pictures for their banquet, but they do have to introduce themselves tonight and give us their future plans. These gentlemen down here are going to get started, but I want to say just a couple words about this class with the alumni in the room. I will tell you, this is one of the funnest groups and one of the most challenging groups I've ever been around for a lot of good reasons. There's a lot of very strong personalities in the class of 2018, a lot of very strong young men and women, and I have no doubt that when they get their energy together, that they will do great things with their lives. So I'm going to pass this mic around, have them introduce themselves to you. So if you just listen closely, we'll get to know the class of 2018 just a little bit better. We're going to start here with Mr. Jacob Moore. And seniors, all I ask is that when you just speak clearly, speak loudly, stand up, and be proud of who you are, because we're sure proud of you.
I'm Jacob Moore. My future plans are to attend Ivy Tech to study criminal justice. My name is Ronald Mills. I plan to attend Purdue University while continuing to serve in the Army National Guard.
My name is Skylar Thurman, and I plan to attend Indiana University East.
My name is Dawson Thornburg, and I plan to attend Ball State University and major in nursing.
My name is Trevor Spence, and I plan to attend Ball State and study in exercise science.
My name is Cody Crawford. I plan to attend Texas A&M University and majoring in Russian, while also attending the ROTC program at Texas A&M.
My name is Elijah Hatton. I plan to attend UNOH for diesel technology.
My name is Justice Cantu. I plan to attend Indiana University to study political science.
My name is Jasmine Kelsey. I plan on attending the University of Indianapolis and majoring in nursing. My name is Macy Beam, and I plan to attend IU's and major in biology.
My name is Carol Finland, and I plan to attend IU East.
My name is Mackenzie Neal, and I plan to attend Ball State University and major in animation.
My name is Haley Addington. I plan to attend Ivy Tech and major in veterinary technology.
My name is Madison Hill. I'm going to IU East and major in elementary education.
My name is Kelsey Burton, and I plan to attend Ivy Tech for nursing.
My name is Kenny Lynn. I'm going to workforce.
My name is Macy Graham. I'm going to Ivy Tech to study criminal justice.
My name is Courtney Hillcraft, and I'm going to Anderson University to study criminal justice.
My name is Benjamin Casillas, and I plan to attend Ball State University and study psychology and philosophy.
Hi, my name is Colin McHenry, and I plan to spend the next 4 years in the U.S. Armed Forces.
My name is Leah Gutierrez. I plan to attend Ball State University and major in psychology.
My name is Kaylee Dollar. I plan to attend IU East and major in nursing.
My name is Haley Weitzel. I plan to attend Ball State to major in nursing.
I'm Max Harris, and I plan to attend IU East for criminal justice. I'm Lenny, and I plan to go straight into the workforce.
I'm James Compton, and I plan to go to Ivy Tech, major in agribusiness.
My name is Trevor Thompson. I plan to attend Southern Illinois University and major in chemistry.
My name is Keith Collins. I plan to attend Ball State to study computer information technology.
My name is Zach Bradbury, and I plan to attend Ball State and double major in criminal justice and Spanish.
My name is Audrey Sollenberger, and I plan on attending the University of Southern Indiana and double majoring in psychology and criminal justice.
My name is Brian Ward. I'm attending IU East for elementary education.
My name is Ellie Kearns. I'm enlisted into the Indiana National Guard and will attend training for 3 weeks and then beginning at Purdue University in fall 2019.
My name is Connor Kearns, and I'm attending Purdue University to major in business management.
Cameron Vincent. I plan to attend Ball State University and major in anthropology and archaeology.
My name is Matthew Mayfield, and I plan to go into the workforce.
My name is Robert Pierce, and I plan to join the workforce.
My name is Kylie Guiano, and I'm going to Ivy Tech to major in business.
My name is Dale Finn, and I plan on joining the workforce.
I'm Levi Matchett. I plan to enter the workforce. Yeah.
My name is David Wilson, and I'm going out into the workforce.
My name is Scotty Cantu, and I plan to attend Ball State for psychology.
My name is Isabel Ruiz, and I plan to attend Ivy Tech for criminal justice.
My name is Maureen Cias, and I plan to attend Ivy Tech for journalism. I'm Elena Wenzel, and I plan to attend IU East to double major in criminal justice and psychology.
I'm Emily Weir, and I plan to go into the workforce.
My name is Paul Bailey Jr., and I plan to attend Purdue Fort Wayne and study anthropology.
My name is Gary Hanley, and I am in the Indiana National Guard and to attend Trine University to study in exercise science.
My name is Chase Jeffries. I'm going to go to Purdue Fort Wayne to major in civil engineering.
My name is Christian Mills. I plan to attend IU East and major in nursing.
My name is Gabe Lush. I plan to attend Ball State University and major in exercise science.
My name is Emily Klein. I plan to attend Anderson University to major in elementary education.
My name is Cassie Martin. I plan to attend Ball State University and major in interior design.
My name is Skylar Dever, and I plan to attend Purdue Fort Wayne for dental.
Outstanding. We just welcomed the class of 2018. Now we're going to step back a few years. From the class of 1938, Dale Conklin. Dale's back here. We have a number of honorees from the class of 48. Helen and Alan Heiss. Robert Miller. Marilyn Peterson. Norma Shockney Russell. And Joe K.I.S.S was here, but I think he may have left. Joe K.I.S.S. Every year we also recognize an alum who has spent a lot of time and a lot of effort to come here tonight. And from Littleton, Colorado, 1,197 miles door to door, Marcia Sutton Baker, class of 1968. Marcia? Our class of 1968 is our honor class this year, 50th anniversary. And I'm pleased to introduce Kathy Comer Thomas. A note of distinction, Kathy's mother, Mrs. Trudy Comer, was a respected teacher in Union City Schools for over 30 years. Kathy and her two sisters graduated from Union City High School. Kathy proceeded to pursue her education at Purdue University and graduated with a bachelor's degree in mathematics. She then went on to obtain her master's degree from Ball State University in mathematics. Kathy taught for 39 years in Tipton and Hamilton Southeast. Please join me in welcoming Kathy Comer Thomas. Kathy?
A few years ago, my church choir, of which I was a member, did a variety show of Broadway musical tunes. The director put me in a trio and we sang "I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No" from Oklahoma. And I never really thought that applied to me, but I think maybe it's true because I am standing here now. My name is Kathy Thomas. My maiden name was Comer. As a representative of the great class of '68, I want to thank the Alumni Association for honoring us tonight. It's great to be here and see the different classes represented as we all honor Union City Community High School. I was fortunate to start kindergarten at the West Side School and stay with my classmates all 13 years. I was also blessed that my mother was an elementary teacher from the mid-50s till her retirement in the early 80s here at Union City. I imagine some of you have Mrs. Comer in 1st or 2nd grade. Both my sisters and I became teachers in the public schools as well. My sister Mary Jo from the class of '63 taught high school English. I taught middle level math and algebra, and my sister Sally from the class of '70 taught elementary. So we had all the levels covered. For those of you who are not in high school in Union City in the mid to late 60s, you don't know what you missed. Everyone knows that times were very different, but I want to give you an idea of what life was like for us at that time. When I think of growing up in Union City in the 50s and 60s, the first thing that comes to my mind is feeling safe. As kids, we played outside. We walked and played all over town without worrying about our safety. Our biggest threat was probably getting punishment if we were late or got into some kind of trouble. I remember walking home from my friend's Jane frequently at night through an alley and being unafraid. Of course, I did have my baton with me because we always practice our twirling for band, so that may have helped. In my mind, the families that I knew were really a lot like the Cleavers on TV. And those of you that are too young to know what I'm talking about, you need to watch an episode of Leave It to Beaver sometime. I'm sure it wasn't true of all families, but life in our small town was laid back and much simpler than now. But there were lots of opportunities for getting together and being involved, both in school, various clubs, and churches. We spent time making floats for homecoming and props for proms. We practiced marching for band, participated in sports, although the opportunities for girls were not at all what they are today. We backed our basketball team in cheer block. We had neighborhood ball games. We were involved in church youth groups, went to Key Club dances and the movies. We actually had 2 movie theaters in Union City at that time. And many of us spent our summers at the swimming pool with our friends. At school, we were blessed with good teachers, and those of us who went to college were well prepared. I know at least 3 of our educators that were teaching us are here tonight, and I would like them to stand and be recognized. Mr. Tom Pryor, who was our very first football coach at Union City. And Mr. Kenny Ayers. And Mr. Paul Brumley. Because of these teachers, we better understand football. The roads are safer when we're driving, and we are better at home repairs. We respected our teachers, and our parents were supportive of the schools. I'm friends on Facebook with Tom Pryor, and when I got notified that it was his birthday, I realized how far-reaching that respect is. I started to post to him, "Happy birthday, Tom," just like I would all my other Facebook friends, but I couldn't do it. So I changed it to, "Happy birthday, Mr. Pryor." And then I thought, come on, Kathy, you're 68 years old. Do you really have to call him Mr. Pryor? So I just wrote, "Happy birthday." I figured it was on his timeline. He knew it was for him. We have such great memories of slumber parties, ball games, dances, and just hanging out. It's hard to imagine a better time to grow up here. Here are a few facts about 1968. A gallon of gas was about 34 cents. A movie ticket was $1.50. A new house was a little under $15,000, and a new car was about $2,800. Here's some of the top movies in '68, and they were really varied. The Graduate, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Gone with the Wind, The Valley of the Dolls, Planet of the Apes, Rosemary's Baby, Romeo and Juliet. Some of the top songs, which were also really varied, Judy in Disguise, Green Tambourine, Dock of the Bay, Honey, Mrs. Robinson, This Guy's in Love with You, which was one of my favorites, and Hello, I Love You. I really love that Sirius Radio has a 60s on 6 station. It's amazing what memories and feelings can come back when you hear a certain song. I'm sometimes transported right back to moments from high school. Some of the TV shows then were Gomer Pyle, Bonanza, Family Affair, Gunsmoke, Julia, Here's Lucy, Beverly Hillbillies, and Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. And believe it or not, Laugh-In had a comedy bit called News from the Future, where they correctly predicted that Ronald Reagan was going to be president in the 1980s. And the Berlin Wall would collapse in 1989, although they said it would be replaced with a moat full of alligators, because they were supposed to be jokes on the show. Some of the bands, the Rolling Stones, the Supremes, the Beatles, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Grateful Dead, the Monkees, Simon and Garfunkel, the Beach Boys, the Bee Gees, Jimi Hendrix, Cream, the Doors, Pink Floyd, the Moody Blues. But here I have to mention a real favorite for our class, the McCoys. Though not on the charts in 1968, there was a lot of excitement in 1965 when Hang On Sloopy hit #1 in the country. And the class of 68's own Randy Zeringer was the drummer of the band with his friends and brother. Always a great memory from Union City in the 60s. While it felt safe and rather like a Norman Rockwell scene living in Union City, outside our school walls and our community boundaries, our country was in great turmoil. I'm sure every senior class thinks the year of their graduation is memorable in history, and it is. But if you Google 1968, it's described by such words as a year of seismic social and political change across the globe, or one of the most tumultuous years in history, the year that shattered America. It was in 1968 that Dr. Martin Luther King and Senator Robert Kennedy were assassinated. The Vietnam War, the Cold War, civil rights, human rights, and youth culture all exploded with force in 1968. A quote from the History Channel says, 1968 was marked by historic achievements, shocking assassinations, a much-hated war, and a spirit of rebellion that swept through countries all over the world. Occurring at the dawn of the television age, the historic events in '68 also played out on TV screens across the country, bringing them home in a way that had never been possible before. The Vietnam War became real to us as young men that we knew personally were drafted or volunteered and sent there. We were especially affected when we lost John Stoops, a friend from the class of '66, to the war. As we left Union City for college or jobs, the events happening in our country became more real as we personally saw protests and possibly participated in them, and followed events on the news. Even so, we continue to grow and pursue our dreams. Technology has had an impact on all of us. I remember as a freshman at Purdue, in my computer science classes, we had to key punch cards, turn them into the computer center, and wait 24 hours to get the results to see if your program worked. And woe be to anybody who dropped their stack of cards. I was fortunate that I had worked as a key puncher in the summers for a couple of years at Mall Brothers in Winchester. Yes, it took a whole room to house the computers. They looked like big machines, and one would calculate and one would collate. It's hard to imagine that now, especially to those of you who are much younger. And I really think you should give a shout out to us old people, because we got through high school without the internet and Google. So why do we come to class reunions? Well, during our high school years, our friends become critical in shaping who we are. It does the soul good to reconnect with people with whom you shared your past. We knew each other before we were parents, before we had a profession or a career. We knew each other when we were vibrant and healthy as a horse. We knew each other as no one else knows us. We knew each other before we became what we worked so hard to be. Other friends we have never knew our parents or our siblings. They don't know what our school mascot or song is. They don't remember that we wore red dresses with fringe and cheer block, or we could stand on State Line Street with one foot in Indiana and one in Ohio, or that you could put gum on the wall at Maid-Rite. They don't know you could dance above the locker plant and hang out at the sweet shop. So here we are, our class 50 years later, and for many of us at a new crossroad in our lives, once again faced with a mix of anxiety and excitement over how we will deal with what's ahead. Many of us have lost parents. Many are taking care of elderly parents. Many are helping with grandchildren. We have been through great times and sad times, but we are survivors. After all, we rode in cars without car seats, and we drank from the water hoses. And our parents even put us on our tummies in the crib. Some may think that having high school friends on Facebook means we know everything about them, what they look like, what their grandkids look like, where they just vacationed, even where they ate dinner last night, and maybe where they are right now. So there's no need to see them at a reunion. But I think most of us feel the opposite about that. Facebook has made me feel closer to those friends and excited to see them again. We're all so lucky to have had what we did in each other and in our teachers. Our experiences shape who we are, and our times at Union City Community High School were among the earliest ones. To those who graduated recently, you may find at early reunions everybody may still be focused on themselves and still comparing themselves with everyone else. They're interested in your job or your career, if you got married, how you dress, if you kept your weight off. And I don't mean to brag, but as far as the girls in the class of '68, every single one of us can still fit into the earrings that we wore in high school. So when you go to a high school reunion when you're in your 50s and 60s, just like we've been experiencing, you'll have a lot more fun because the emphasis of discussion is no longer on what you do for a living or where you live or what college you may have gone to. What people care about is hearing your life stories, to share in your sorrows as well as your joys, and just to reminisce. It's a beautiful thing. Someone said, aging doesn't define you, aging distills you into your essence of what you will become. We've all gone on to become the people that we were destined to be. We've had ups and downs, successes and failures, joys and heartaches, but we're not through yet. There's still plenty of work to be done. I know that our class will continue to give and be special. Some of you will remember a few lines from a Robert Frost poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. I actually chose that as my favorite poem in 4th grade, and I still remember I made a booklet and drew a picture on the front, so it's always been very special to me. But it ends with this: the woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you, and enjoy your evening.
At this time of the program, we'd like to take a moment and recognize some of our seniors that have received scholarships from the Alumni Association. I know to my seniors, class of 2018 sitting in front of me, I know a lot of you have wondered, why do we have to go to this thing? What's this all about? It's all about getting to see the history and the people that have come before you and the people that continue to fund not only scholarship, but teacher grants and a number of other things that continue to help out this community. So that's why we're here tonight. So without any further ado, I'm going to take some time and we will recognize the 2018 Union City Alumni Scholarship recipients. And seniors, when I recognize you, if you could come to the podium, we're actually going to have you stand over here to the right so we can get a group picture. Our first scholarship recipient, Mr. Keaton Collins. Next recipient, Kaylee Dowler. Cassie Martin. Next, Mr. Christian Mills. Our next recipient, Mr. Dawson Thornburg. And our final recipient of the Union City Alumni Association Scholarship, Miss Mackenzie Neely.
Congratulations. We got some surprises tonight, and I'm going to have Bill Corbin, who's Vice President of our board, bring these forward to you tonight. Bill?
I'm going to ask Aaron to help me with this. This is just something we do. Some of the alumni chip in a bit to make it a little more special night for the graduates. So,
And I shared with Bill that this is the moment where we draw some names out and give out some pretty nice prizes and some envelopes with some money in them. He asked me to draw the names, but I had to remind him I have to spend the next week with these kids, so he's going to do the honors. I'm just going to read their names. First recipient of the prize, Miss Nelena Weitzel. Our next winner, Kylie Anguiano. Up next, Benji K.I.S.S. He's not paying attention. Mr. Jacob Moore. Miss Aaliyah Gutierrez. Next up, Trevor Spence. Macy Bean. And Zach Bradbury. Caleb Fenton. If I said James Vincent, a lot of people in this room would recognize that, but we're going to go Cameron Vincent. Miss Brianne Ward. Elijah Hatton. Miss Emily Goodyear. How about Cody Lunds?
I'm also privileged to present the Adela Rose Sickles Special Scholarship, and this is made possible by Marv Kagris and Martha Miller, who are over here, but longtime and very loyal supporters of the Alumni Association and have helped make a lot of this possible. So this scholarship, named for Adela Rose Sickles, who many of us remember well as a great teacher, and it goes to Brianne Ward.
Okay, we're going to move right along to the teacher grant recognition part of the program, and I'm going to come back to the teachers to save them the trip up here and maybe to move things along just a little bit. But this is a program the Alumni Association is very proud of. This is our fourth year teacher grants, and this year we're happy to award just over $8,000 in teacher grants. And the philosophy of the Alumni Association with teacher grants is the fact that this grant money is going to touch every child that comes through our school corporation and do that for years to come. So I'm going to head back to the back table here, and we will recognize the teachers that are receiving grants this year. And there's one teacher that I actually walked away from that happens to be my wife. I left her at the front table, and she's going to have to walk all the way back here with us because we're going to take a picture back here. One of the grant recipients is Miss Sarah Black, Justin Jones, and Jason Lemus. Next we have Michelle Buckingham. Next we have Miss Becky Bird, who I will share just reached her third 5-year milestone here in New City. And Miss Lori Clevenger. How about Miss Laura Elliott? Brad Hogan's here somewhere. Mr. Brad Hogan. Class of 92 celebrating the 93 celebrating the 25th year. And Melissa Solomon. Mr. Kurt Schilling. Mr. Andrew Stonecipher. And Kathy Thompson. And a member of our board of directors, Ms. Jennifer Vincent. And Ms. Suzanne Weber. We also have 8 other teachers that received grants this year that were unable to attend this evening, but again, $8,000 in teacher grants this year, which is incredible, and a big thanks to everybody in this room. So thank you very much.
Nice hand for some outstanding teachers. Atlanta, oh well, we introduce our class anniversary.
I'm a member of the class of 1965, Atlanta Byram Hollowell. Here we go. I'll make this, yeah. I will start 5-year increments. I will start with 1938. Please feel free to stand for the short time that you're introduced, or just wave to your fans. That's good. All right, here we go. Class of 1938, Dale Conklin. Class of 1948 in attendance, Helen Montana K.I.S.S. Alan K.I.S.S. Joseph Kaiser, Robert Miller, Marilyn Thomas Peterson, Norma Shockney Russell. Okay. We could hold our applause until the end, and then we'll get through this. Class of 1958, Judith Westfall Abel, Sharon Brewer Billenstein, Michael McClure, Joe Odell, Jan Passmore, Shelba Conklin Pollock, Stephen Shaw, John Elliott. Okay. Class of 1963. Kent Thornburg, Judy Shields Tritshoe, James Vincent. And to our 50-year honoree class, John Adelsberger, Marcia Sutton Baker, Carol Lumpkin Beam, Connie Claywell, Larry Carpenter, Becky Pooterball Carpenter, Connie Noonan Hood, Brenda Oaks Snodgrass Lowe, Peggy Hart McKnight, Tony Mangus, Mike O'Neill, Carol Stewart Powell, Marta Johnson Wood Reed, Karen Conklin Rogers, Catherine Carpenter Roy, Linda Vickery St. Myers, Jane Stump Smith, Kathy Comer Thomas, Donna Goldsberry Webster. Class of 1978, 40 years. Paula Hummel Wicks, Kevin Kearns. Class of 1983, Tito Ferraris, Leslie, Wendy Smith, Linda Norton Temple, Alan Roberts, Tim Crawford, Connie Foreman Booker, Juanita Ramirez Murphy. I missed one already. I'm sorry. Okay. Sabrina Skyver, 83. Okay. And I apologize. I missed one in the class of 1968. Don Connor. Sorry, Don. Okay, moving to the class of 1993. Brad Hoggett. There you go. Krista Carpenter Botkins. James Ziegler. Class of 1998, Amanda Jones. Amanda, are you there? Class of 2003, Sarah Rosso Black. Have I forgotten anyone? Because I still have to apologize for last year's class, 1967. I forgot my dear friend, my childhood friend from South Salem Church of Christ and Union City High School, Barbara Price. Is she here? Ha ha! See? It was a good job, you bet. Going along those lines, we do want everyone to know that if there is a change of address, if someone has passed from your class, please let us know. Contact Mary Broombaugh. That information is in the little brown booklet there. So, are we all good? Thank you.
Thanks, Mom. On behalf of your Alumni Association, I want to thank you for attending this year's banquet. I also want to express our heartfelt appreciation for your generosity, which has resulted in 7 consecutive years of record-breaking contributions, and during that period of time has funded 49 new scholarships. Last year was our 3rd year of teacher grants, and your association awarded 16, and as you saw this year, we were awarding 22. I need to appreciate the leadership of Bill Corbin and the valued insight of his sister Kathy, who's with us tonight, for all they've done to bring teacher grants to our Foresight and to this school and to our teachers here. Thank you both. Some of you may recall that 5 years ago, the school district asked your association to administer almost $750,000 in donor-designated scholarships that, due to investment restrictions placed on the school district, generated a very minimal return. I'm pleased to report that over the past year, your association has increased that return by over 15 times with federally insured bank accounts, which help to ensure and honor the wishes of the benefactors who established those scholarships all those years ago. At this time, I'd like to recognize our board of directors. Bill Corbin, Vice President. Bob Miller, who could not be with us tonight. Angie Cross, Treasurer. Angie. Our Secretary, Mary Brumball. Mary. Our immediate past president, Tom Wright. Thomas. Other members of our board, Aaron Black, Luana Hollowell, Penny Hoover, Wendy Smith. Wendy carries ice on both shoulders. She serves on the school board as well. Cheryl Van Camp could be not with us tonight. Jennifer Vincent. Terry Weimer. And Terry's wife, Darlene, who could not be with us tonight as well. Your association is alive and well today due to the efforts of a few and the generosity of many. Past recipients of the Alumni of the Year Award are, in 2013, Sarisa Moore, who gave over 50 years of service to your association. In 2014, Martha Miller and Marv K.I.S.S, would you stand, please? Martha, Marv. Been major contributors and strong supporters of the association for many, many years. In 2015, Terry and Darlene Weimer. They've given over 25 years of service to the association, including 11 years that Terry served as president. In 2016, Garner Moore, I don't believe Garner is with us this evening, gave over 30 years of service to the association, including 4 years as president. And last year, 2017, Derek Huntworth, a 2000 graduate of Union City who has worked successfully to build a mortgage company in Indianapolis. Each year, we post the names and their place in the hall for all to see. In 2018, our latest honoree, Michael McClure, a 1958 graduate, those of us who have known him for 70 years call him Mick. Graduated from Union City High School, was a good student, in fact, a great student. Basketball letterman, top rebounder, and active in DMLA. Went on to Indiana University and had a degree in business and finance and rode in the Little 500 3 times. Was active in his fraternity there, Beta Theta Pi. Mick went on to Wall Street, provide both private placement and public underwritings. During his time, he began to concentrate on the injury. Excuse me. That's why Mick was a good student, I wasn't. industry, excuse me. He became a leader as recognized working on various mergers, acquisitions for companies such as Atlantic Richfield, Quaker State Oil, Union Oil. And in recent years, he's worked to restructure numerous companies as well as providing investment and merchant banking services in order to revitalize and profitably grow numerous companies. He was honored as a distinguished entrepreneur by Indiana University School of Business. And throughout his career, he served on numerous boards of directors, both for-profit and not-for-profit. Please join me in welcoming Michael McClure.
Nice. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to the board, Jan, and everybody who was responsible for nominating me and considering me. It's a great honor and pleasure. It was unexpected. I'm sure there are many people besides me that deserve it, but I'm very honored to receive it. I want to congratulate the class of 2018. Remember this because you're going to be here pretty quick. It goes quick. I remember sitting there looking at the 60-year class and saying, boy, those guys are old. Now I are one. So enjoy it because it creeps up on you really quick. And I encourage you to pursue your passions and whatever they may be the best at it you can possibly be. My career, I was blessed in my career. I got lucky. I pursued my career that I had as a kid. I was not a great student, contrary to what Jan thinks. As a matter of fact, one of my classmates said, if I'd have believed that you had the success that you've had, I'd have laughed my you-know-what off. And I said, and probably some others would have also. So, in any event, thanks a lot, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining with us tonight. I would ask that Justice Cantu come forward.
Please join me in prayer. Everyone bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here today to honor the class of 2018 and all the other graduates. We thank you for the people that you've placed in our lives that have guided us and helped us grow to who we are today. I pray that you watch over everyone as they travel home and make sure everyone gets home safe. In your name we pray. Amen.
And that concludes our program for the evening. Oh, wait. Excuse me. Sorry. Terry reminded me that on your program there should be a mark. And if there's a mark on your program on the inside, last page, I'm sorry, inside the last page, you can take the roses off and carnations off the table as your gift tonight. So. Drive carefully.